Can I share this fun fact with you? Some women aren't wearing their wigs and protective styles for protection anymore. They're actually wearing them because they're afraid. They're afraid of how they'll look, how they won't feel feminine enough, how their real hair won't be accepted, or they're even afraid that they won't feel beautiful without their covering. And today we're talking about the identity crisis that can hide underneath a hair journey. So with that being said, let's get started with today's episode. Do you want healthy, full, manageable, natural hair in simple solutions, but struggle with finding safer options you can trust and want to take all of your time and energy to search? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Ashley, wife, mom, and Jesus BFF. I learned the secret of how to care for my hair and save time while maintaining it. Holistic care. So if you're ready for healthy hair, better health, and faith that helps you stay consistent, grab your comb, your brush, and your Bible because it's time to grow. Hey beautiful, and welcome back to the podcast. So today's conversation is probably one of the most vulnerable episodes I've recorded because we're going deeper than products, routines, and hair growth methods. But today we are talking about identity. We're talking about hiding, and we're also talking about how fear can quietly shape the way you care for yourself. If I'm honest, there was a season where I hid behind wigs and braids so much that I no longer felt connected to my real hair. And I love me a good wig and braid protective style. So it's not an attack on those that do it. But this is all about a motive. There's a difference between protecting your hair and hiding from yourself. And a lot of us as women, we don't realize the difference until God starts exposing the deeper issue. Now, before I get into all of this, let's take a look at Judges chapter 6. And this is about a man named Gideon. He is threshing wheat in a winepress. Now, this is around verses 11 to 13 or 11 to 14. 11 to 13. And I was like, why is he threshing wheat in a wine press? Like, something about that verse, it did not make sense. Well, first, in the beginning of chapter 6, what was happening was the Israelites, they were outside of the Lord's will. And the Lord basically gave them into the hands of the Midianites, which they were against the Israelites. And so the Midianites, they were going after their crops and everything that the Israelites owned because they were not in the will of God. And so Gideon, he was basically separating the grain from the plant or from the wheat. And he was doing this in the wine press. So he basically was hiding so the Midianites wouldn't get the wheat that he had. And then an angel came up and told him that he was in the Lord's will. He said that the Lord is with you, mighty warrior. And Gideon is like, pardon me? But if the Lord was with me, why all this happening to us? And where is this testimony of what he did for our ancestors with getting them out of Egypt? How come he's not doing that for us? And so that's what's happening. And this all started with him with putting the wheat in the wine press. Now, we all know what happens with a wine press. Like, that's where wine is created. And so this also confirms that he was hiding the wheat from the Midianites. Now, what was really happening behind this? Fear had changed his environment. Fear had changed his behavior. And fear changed how he showed up. And he adjusted his life around survival. And when I read that, I immediately thought about how many women can live disconnected from themselves because fear taught them that hiding feels safer than healing. Now, for me, part of my journey was not fully embracing my natural hair texture and identity. So I compared myself constantly. I thought certain hair textures were better because I grew up hearing that, like, if your hair wasn't loose and curly, then and your hair was like tighter and coily, then your hair wasn't good enough. Or I just always didn't hear too many compliments when it came to my hair texture. And also, if it wasn't long enough, then I didn't really hear good things about that as well. And so I didn't know this, but I actually felt more secure hiding behind hairstyles than learning what my hair actually needed. And so this is where I was wearing like a lot of wigs and a lot of braids. First, because it was easy to me, I thought it was easier to manage my hair, especially like in the summer. Just throw some braids in, go in the pool, do whatever I wanted to do, go on rides and everything, and don't have to worry about fixing my hair because it would do its own thing with the braids. And also with the wig, just comb it out and do whatever and it will look right. And so that became my thing. But honestly, hiding behind this, it also had me thinking that some versions of beauty was more accepted than others. And I didn't realize that that's what I was really seeing. And now I love me some wigs and braids and everything, but it was just my mindset at the time. And I didn't realize how much insecurity was influencing my choices. Because when you don't feel confident in yourself naturally, you start depending on external things to feel safe. And eventually, you lose connection with what's happening underneath. Now, some of us, we could say that our hair won't grow. But the deeper issue is that you can avoid consistency because you already feel defeated emotionally. And sometimes we can constantly restart routines because frustration keeps interrupting stewardship. See, sometimes we don't even know our porosity, our scalp condition, our density, our triggers for breakage. We don't understand that at a deeper level because emotionally we've disconnected from learning our hair altogether. And healing requires relationship. See, hair wellness isn't just external, but the stress matters, your nervous system health matters, as well as your self-perception matters, and patience plays a big part as well. And this brings me back to Gideon. He was called the mighty warrior, as the angel put it. And so I had to look up mighty warrior because I was like, why is he calling him a mighty warrior? Like, what is that all about? And it is someone of exceptional courage, strength, and resilience. So beyond what's going on physically, it represents a person who overcomes intense adversity and stands firm in their convictions. And so it's not after the victory, it's not after confidence, it's not after success, but it's before. The angel called Gideon all of this before the victory. And that's how the Lord works. He speaks identity before evidence appears. Don't you know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and so who he created you to be, it was already given to you before you even knew that what it was. And some of us, we're waiting to feel beautiful before embracing ourselves. We're waiting to feel confident before learning our natural hair, or waiting for it to be longer in order to wear it out, or waiting to even feel worthy before showing up fully. But confidence, it often grows through stewardship, not avoidance. And this was one of the things, if I could also be honest, when it just came to me going into this direction that the Lord is calling me to, as far as encouraging through hair loss and just stewarding our hair. I was like, Lord, I don't have long hair down to my butt or anything, so how many people are really going to listen to me? Because, I can understand some of these women that has this long, thick hair, people are listening to them, and I get it. Like, I would do exactly what they're doing too, because it's working for them and they have the proof. But time after time, the Lord kept directing me in this direction. And one of the things that He has been teaching me also is through my stewarding my hair, He's given me the grace and the tools to not only help you through it, but also help me through it at the same time. So basically, we're all in this all together, and the Lord is doing a great work in us. But I want to give you some questions. This week, ask yourself honestly, am I protecting myself or am I hiding? Have I avoided learning my hair? Do I constantly cover because of insecurity? And have I emotionally disconnected from myself? And friend, when you get the answer to these questions, that's when you know that healing is starting, because healing starts with honesty. Now, as I close, your natural hair is not a burden, it's not too much, and your identity should never depend on a covering or what someone else says or believes about your hair. God has never intended for you to fear to define how you see yourself. In our next episode, we're going to talk about the dangerous labels that we as women can place on our hair and how those labels can quietly shape your results. So if this episode has spoke to you, I pray that it has blessed you, but also make sure you join the hair wellness community, because there I'm constantly uplifting my community and how we should steward our hair the way that the Lord has intended for us to. And not just our hair, but our overall wellness as well. So I pray that you subscribe and also share this episode with someone that comes to mind, because we all need to be encouraged. I will talk to you next time. Bye, beautiful. Hey, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you please take 30 seconds and share with a friend who may want to care for their hair without overwhelm and confusion? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It lights me up to feel the love when I know the podcast is helping you. Well, I'm off to care for my crown, drink my water, and stop touching my hair. I'll meet you back on Tuesday for another quick episode. Love ya!